What's up? Welcome to
Right.
Welcome to Pick Central. Welcome to Pick Central. You like that right before the show? Welcome to Pick Central, brought to you by DraftKings. The Emirates NBA Cup is here, and you can win big getting in on the action at the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Will LA repeat? We'll find out soon. There's sure to be rim-rattling slams and no-look passes that bring the crowd to their feet. Get behind your favorite players and the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. First time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers, bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code PICKCENTRAL. That's code PICKCENTRAL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, let's dissect a little bit of last night to a degree if there's anything to dissect.
47 seconds maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was just listen, I might sound crazy because you look at the score. I just was so unimpressed with the Texans' offense. Their defense, I mean, Cooper Rush couldn't do anything. I mean,
they had no exciting play. I mean, they had that one obvious long touchdown play, but other than that, they didn't have anything else.
Yeah, just more like the Texans let the Cowboys hang around for a little long. Like, it was 20-10 for a long time. And the Cowboys should have kicked that field goal. I don't know. I didn't.
There's no way Rico's record is right. I'm sorry. That's just insane.
18 and 126.
I'm losing small.
There's no way. There's no way.
You'd be surprised.
No, that can't be accurate.
No, it's also the units would be way less.
So we also didn't fix the records yet.
Yeah, I won 9. I was up 9 units yesterday.
But yeah, I don't know. I might sound stupid. I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with the Texans yesterday.
Yeah, the Texans.
Like, I haven't been impressed with them all year. I'm saying in a way of like Super Bowl and all that
but
shit.
they were going like, we made a bunch of references to it yesterday. Like, it was like the Jake Paul fight a little bit. Like, he was going at like, they were going like 60%. Like,
why though?
Because they didn't have to do anything. The Cowboys are terrible.
Look at the Lions. What'd they do?
Well, I mean, talking about just this game.
That's what I'm saying. The Lions played the Jaguars, who were dead.
I know. Well, some
teams,
different teams, different.
I don't think it was.
Like, I don't.
Lions are bullies.
I think you're wrong in the way.
You can't judge the Texans on last night.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying. I think you're wrong in the way. I don't think they were going 60%. I think that their offense is just is not.
When I say 60%, I don't mean like the players energy-wise. I mean like the playbook. They weren't really going deep in the playbook. I think they were kind of. By the end of that game, they're kind of running out the clock. Like, there was not a lot of intensity there, and there shouldn't have been.
I just think their offense is a little stagnant this year. It's just not as good as it was last year. But it's. I don't know. I just think there's.
That was more of an indictment on the Cowboys than anything.
I'm saying all season. This is not just the Texans yesterday.
I agree with
all
that.
season. I think their offense is more, and they were injuries like Nico just got back. It's going to take him a little bit. Diggs is out for the year now. Like, I think they've been not all been together the entire year, but I just think it's a little more stagnant this year.
They did beat the Bills and they played the Lions to a one-score game.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying like, listen, I was wrong about the Texans being not in the playoffs. I will admit that. But I don't think that they are. I think a lot of people who had them as Super Bowl aspirations early, before the year even started. And I mean, they're still 7-4. It's not like it's dead or anything. But I don't know. I just don't find them. Do you think they're a top 3 team in the AFC?
No.
I don't think so either.
I didn't think that going into the season either.
A lot of people did.
Really? With the AFC so loaded, though?
People thought
they thought they were better than the Bills. No one thought the Bills were going to be the.
They thought the Texans could take a leap. That's fair. 100%.
All right, maybe 3.
The Bills lost Diggs. People were not saying that like they were going to be. They thought 8-2 or whatever.
Texans at 25-1.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's about where I would expect them.
I actually don't. I think that.
I think they should be
actually thought they'd be higher. Not like.
I think it's
better than the Vikings.
I think it's more about the. Well, no, but it's the path.
Yeah.
If they're in the NFC, they're like 15. They're probably around the same as the Steelers.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they'd have to get through Steelers, Chiefs, Bills,
Ravens.
Like, it's a brutal schedule.
Crazy.
What?
Steelers are a good football team.
I don't think people are giving the Steelers enough respect.
And not.
I think for 3 weeks now, me and you have been saying. They're I can see them win the Super Bowl. You've been a little hesitant, and you haven't really said much about them.
I think their ceiling is AFC Championship game.
I would not like their defense can literally hold. They held Lamar to that, and I think the Chiefs' offense this year hasn't been like insane, and I think that they can cause some havoc, dude. Like even adding Queen has been really good for them.
Huge.
And obviously TJ Watt's incredible. Like Cam Hayward's still a fucking beast. Like I don't know, their defense is fucking ridiculous. And they have a quarterback that is not really turning the ball over and is opening up George Pickens a little bit that they haven't had at all.
And if he gets hurt, they have a really good backup.
Yeah,
so, like they even have like a pretty good backup plan or a plan B.
They also have a backup that's like played with the team. And,
yeah, like I think they're setting themselves up really well.
I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in a Super Bowl.
I wouldn't either.
Do I think the Chiefs would beat them in Arrowhead? Yes. Yes, I do.
That's a different discussion.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised.
But it's great now that the Chiefs have lost. It's opened the door wide open for them to potentially not have home field throughout.
Absolutely.
They're still
like that's
again Buffalo.
That's not like closed at all. I mean Buffalo especially now they have the tiebreaker.
Right.
Buffalo? They just need Chiefs to.
Would you say it's just them two?
What
to get home field, Steelers and Bills?
Yeah, it's at this point.
I think so. The
Ravens have 4 losses, right?
And one of them's head-to-head to the Chiefs, so that's
they're done.
And the Steelers.
That's basically 5 losses.
Obviously, they'll play them again, but
but that's
that's it.
The
Steelers.
That's
I think it's just them two that have a chance.
yeah,
I think so.
for the 1 seed, yes.
Bills have the best chance.
Can I throw this out there? I don't necessarily agree with it. The Chargers do play them again. They have 3 losses. They have 1. If they win that one and can somehow sneak another one, I'm not saying it's. I'm just.
I think there's a path. I think the Chargers
again. Chiefs again.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers lose this weekend. Sunday
I
night.
think they do too, Marty. I agree with you.
Yeah, Chargers schedule is absolutely brutal.
The Chiefs
Chiefs
Steelers
is kind of easy, but then a couple hard ones at the end.
That's a great Christmas game, huh? Look at that.
It'll be on Netflix.
Oh, so Chiefs. Yeah, the Chiefs are going to be.
The Chiefs are going to win. The Chiefs are going to win their next at least 2 games.
I think they're going to win their next
probably
4. To be honest.
Probably 4.
Yeah, and then
More
they'll
likely
probably
than not 4.
They'll probably win.
Probably 5.
I think they'll lose to the Steelers, and then I think they're going to. They're going to go 5-1.
Panthers are scrappy.
No, they're not.
Panthers off a bye.
No.
You don't want to see Bryce Young in Charlotte.
You kind of do.
Scary business.
It's a great thing to see.
The Chiefs are only minus 11 at that game.
Minus
That's
11.
a lot. 11.
Yeah,
is a lot.
that's 11's a lot, especially that Chiefs offense that kind of
Yeah, but
doesn't kick in that gear unless they have to.
11 points is a lot of points for the Chiefs to cover.
It is.
Yeah, especially when they love playing 1-possession games.
I don't know if I mentally could do it. I'm so done with the Panthers. I'm done. I'm tapped.
I'll be good in the Chiefs.
Tapped on the Panthers.
What'd you
I
think?
tried quite a what?
No, nothing.
I tried to quite a bit early in the year. They just are bad. There's a bad football team.
Yeah, they're bad. Very bad. What'd you take away from last night? You think we were saying the Texans, we just don't know about them.
Yeah, I agree that they're probably like in the NFC. They're in that like 4 to 6 range probably. No, Marty's right. Like the offense hasn't been clicking the same way. I do think they got to find their groove here. Nico back. Like I think Nico's a game changer. But I agree with Clemmer in the sense of last night. I don't think you're showing them like their defense is so bad, and their offense is just atrocious. Like you don't need to open the playbook crazy up for them.
I want to say
it was a weird.
thing.
I just think it's hard to kind of take. Like we know what Dallas is. Like they're just truly they're an abomination.
They're a bad football team.
They're just pathetic. So yeah, it's I just don't think you can tell a lot from the Texans. Mixon's fucking great.
That's what I want to talk about.
Mixon's
because
great.
the Giants are getting a ton of shit for letting Saquon go. It's because we're way worse. But the Bengals let Joe Mixon just walk too.
Yeah.
And it's a big downgrade in their backfield. And I think he would have been helping them win some games.
Chase Brown has played well. I do want to.
Yeah,
at least
but
note that.
so
He's
is
good.
Trace.
He's a good
Tracy's
player.
been playing unbelievable.
No.
too.
Tyron Tracy's been
So
awesome.
That's where I'm saying, like, why is no one talking about? Because it's Saquon Barkley.
Guys,
like,
hold the phone. I have breaking news. Like this is actually breaking
come on,
news,
we're in a
not a
good
troll.
conversation.
Break-
I'm
no,
gonna-
this
I'm- I-
is
I-
worth
I think
it.
I believe Phil
This
here.
is worth it.
All right.
Whoa, that's real breaking news.
It's pro breaking news.
Clemmer,
Interesting.
What's your reaction?
Wow.
That's breaking news.
Wow.
Finally, he's
That's
had
definitely
good breaking news.
No,
I
I
guess-
could tell Meek was being real there.
My reaction is the timing is surprising.
Why?
Well, I guess not. Why? I guess more about the timing is why. Like why now? Is it to get an early jump on
Yes.
potential GM candidates? Which that makes sense. I just don't know who they're considering. I didn't expect it now. I guess. So
I think it's good.
I said you're gonna pull.
I
You're
say
gonna
why?
pull the Band-Aid off. You might as well
Why
pull it
wait?
off, right?
Why wait? Where
I
it's
agree.
like, all right, now you're the first team that has no GM.
Yeah,
First
and
team that
hopefully,
doesn't, and they could go
here's
for it.
my thing with this. Hopefully, the mandate is no one is safe. In other words, like you get rid of Aaron Rodgers, you get rid of all this. No one should be safe. Everyone should be.
That's the next step.
And the owner needs to tell whoever the owner is, Woody Johnson, if he's the ambassador somewhere, if it's not Chris Johnson, whoever the fuck is in charge, needs to tell the GM, whoever this is, you have full control. You have carte blanche. You can do whatever you want, and no one is safe. They need to tell them that.
That's scary though if they don't. If they're like, hey, Rodgers is our quarterback.
Yeah, here's our golden goose. You can't touch him. That's terrifying. And then we're fucked.
And a lot of people
Then we're
say
still
no.
in the shit. Then I'm still covered in brown goo.
Like, is there a way? Like, why isn't like there talks about like sitting Rodgers of like how bad?
What does that accomplish? I'm fine with
what do you
Who was
mean?
even their backup?
It's
Tyrod Taylor.
Oh,
It's like no, yeah. What you're not doing nothing.
I don't know. I
mean,
feel like you don't want to.
Just laugh every time.
I know. It is.
I can't.
Rodgers has been really bad.
Yeah, but you can't. You lose.
I don't see. There's
You're
no
gonna
real
need
like
him next. I think they
upside.
need him
I don't
next
think-
year.
You know what's crazy? Aaron Rodgers is. I know that obviously the game has changed. He's on pace to be like 4th all time in like yards in a season, like 3rd all time in like touchdowns in a season. I know the game has changed.
Yeah.
But it's like you're like, oh my god. It's an indictment on how bad the quarterbacks have been for the Jets, but it's also like just
Yeah, no,
shows you how
it's
much the
not
game
good.
has changed because
Yeah.
he's been horrible.
But seriously, back to that Mixon thing. Why aren't they getting more shit for that? He's been one of the best running backs in the NFL this year.
I think it's because that's not their problem. But like I don't think Mixon being on that roster changes literally anything about that football team.
I don't agree with that. I think that.
I mean, they're losing games because they can't stop. They can't stop.
I know, but I do think that their run game would. I think they would win. I don't know.
Hopefully help to establish
I think
a
they
run
would
game,
help
yeah.
the run game a little bit of just like.
I think it's just a
establishing
state
it.
of the union. Like running backs don't matter, so no one's
I
going to
think
come
now
down.
they're like almost. Do they like this year? It seems like they do matter. Like Derrick Henry's been unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's just you know how the market is. Like people are.
you're right.
You know what I mean?
I think Barty's right. There is a bit of a market correction where like we're seeing if you go and get a Saquon Barkley, you go and get a Joe Mixon, it does
I know
actually.
Derrick Henry. That it's
Yep.
helping their teams a ton.
We've reached a point where running backs were overrated for so long they kind of became underrated.
It's this year is the first.
At least the top level ones, at least.
I agreed with the market. I agreed like you
Yeah.
can just plug and place anybody, and it's like no. you
Some
can't.
guys are above that.
Yeah.
So just for Chase Brown, since Zach Moss has been out full time, since he's been like the full time starter, in his 3 games he's had 157 yards and a touchdown, like rushing and receiving combined. 157 yards and a touchdown, 94 and a touchdown, and 143.
Pretty great.
Yeah, but
I mean, he's
but
been
what's
good,
the what's the
like-
Bengals record in the last 3 games?
That's my point.
Yeah,
That's my point that Mixon's. I don't think it's changing the result of
3
these
games. You
games.
just said 3 games.
That he's been the starter.
Yeah, but that's 3. You can't. I can't take a sample size on 3 games. Like of
All right,
course.
so I'll give you the.
That's
So
like
when he was splitting time, he was still playing really well.
I see what Ev is saying.
yeah, I get it,
He
but
had
it's
80
also
80 yards. That's just rushing. But he's splitting time. He's having like 90 yards, like 75, 80 yards.
Yeah, but show me Joe Mixon's numbers.
But also part of a different team.
So here's the other
Oh,
thing.
I
See,
know,
I
but
think- but
their
I think you're
numbers
just
are-
ignoring, like,
I'm not ignoring it. Joe Mixon's also making the Texans way better than they like. If they didn't have Joe Mixon,
Right.
I don't think the Texans are as that good.
and the
They
Bengals
improved their running back situation, but Singletary was good for them last year.
Yeah,
Mixon's better, but
Joe
I'm
Mixon
saying
literally like won them the game yesterday. How good he was.
the Bengals
he
are
played
losing
well.
these
I think they
games.
win with or without him. But he played great.
The
It's not-
Bengals losing these games so close that if you had Mixon instead of it might have made the difference.
I don't know. I think Brown's good. I just think it's. I mean, their defense is just their issue. Like they're
out there and help it.
they're a top 5 offense.
What a savage that guy is.
We got girls for the context. Girls
Pushing a
girls
box,
pushing
literally.
a box across the floor with.
And you know who
with,
didn't?
with gentlemen
you know who-
walking right by, not saying
you know
a
who
word.
didn't get up? Rico Bosco.
Oh, you guys would have been like, "What are you doing, leaving the thing?"
No, I actually would have been like, "Oh, that's Bosco, man of honor."
Very chivalrous.
And that you didn't get off your ass.
No.
I text the guy who walked past her though.
Yeah, do it now.
That-
That's a good time.
Also
to
with the
That'll show him.
do it. You didn't get up during the show, but you'll text
Yeah,
him during the show.
He'll never do that again.
also going back to how much how much blame we giving Joe Douglas for this Jets debacle.
A lot.
Because I don't know.
I
No,
heard somebody
that's-
say
oh,
he's
it was
like,
players.
he
Everyone
delivered
know-
the guys you want.
No,
He delivered the
exactly.
guys you want.
Exactly.
Everyone at the
We
top.
wanted the wrong guys.
Everyone
do you mean?
Hold on. Everyone,
not a GM.
Everyone at the top deserves some blame. I think if you're like passing blame in this debacle from the top, you're going like ownership. You're like making
yeah.
a pie. Ownership,
Yes.
coaching, Joe Douglas, like GM front office.
And players.
I think players, of course, too. I think Douglas might be the smallest blame out of that 4.
Ev, 100% you're right.
I think of like I think he's drafted well.
What does Bill Parcells say?
Rodgers.
What's the Bill Parcells line?
You are what record says you are.
Yeah, that's
That's a cliche. Like, give me something.
I don't think it is a cliche.
It is a cliche.
I don't think it is.
It's totally a cliche.
I disagree with that.
There's no substance to that. Give me some like.
No, but
give me some like managerial failures by Joe Douglas.
Okay, here's one. Last year, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. He sits on his hands and allows Zach Wilson. When everyone knew Zach Wilson was terrible, I said on this fucking show, the day after Aaron Rodgers got hurt, you need to go and get somebody. He did nothing.
Who was he supposed to get, though?
Who was available? Who was available? I'm putting my time machine brain back on. I'm also an old man.
Probably got traded for like a Jameis Winston.
Flacco is an example. Winston's an example.
But Flacco was already on the Jets. It didn't work out. And
and we wasted him.
I think also it wouldn't have. I think it literally only worked for the
I was
Browns
yelling for
last year.
Carson Wentz. I'm not saying that would have fixed anything, but
but that's also like
no. But my point is, he didn't do anything. He didn't do a thing. When you had to do something, we knew the current situation wasn't going to work. Everyone knew that, right? So you have to at least try, and he didn't.
But he had
That's a black
Rodgers. Like it's obviously it's very hard to you got Rodgers. You're like, all right, let's go. 4 plays in, your whole season's fucked.
Didn't
after
fire
that.
Salah at the end of this year.
I don't think that's
last year.
That's not his. I don't
Why
think
is
I don't think he
it
gets to make that call?
But also, why is it his?
That's ownership.
And ownership need. We don't know that, but you might be right. And also,
think
Aaron
GM
Rodgers
doesn't
has
get
way
to
more.
just say,
influence.
hey,
I also
we're
think
firing
you
head
should
coach,
fire.
so.
I don't think you could fire Salah after your starting quarterback goes
3
down.
lost seasons. So now we're going to go for a 4th, and we do.
Yeah, but I think this was the year that he gave him, and then he fired him mid-season. He fired him in
like
7
Joe
games.
Douglas. He went and got the players I wanted to get, but I'm not a GM. And at the end of the day, as much as you think it's cliche, you are what your record is. You are. It has been a failure. It's been a failure for 4 years. How much longer can you hope this guy can pick the right players?
He got you Devontae Adams for a bag of balls.
No, he didn't. We way overpaid
give
for
up a
Devontae
third?
Adams.
How?
Look at other wide receivers who got traded. We got screwed the most.
How much? What'd you give up?
It was a third, right? Look
Third,
at what
I
Amari Cooper was. Look at what the other
Devontae
guy.
Adams is way better than Amari Cooper.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yes, he is.
Who else? What other wide
What do you mean
receiver?
you don't know. Honestly, are we
What
going
other
to
wide
not
receiver
debate
got
that?
traded?
What?
We're getting in the weeds.
DeAndre Hopkins is like 70 years old.
Hopkins.
And how much? And what was that? It was like a 5th.
DeAndre.
Yeah, but DeAndre is a little older than Devontae.
Every single wide receiver traded was way cheaper than the price we paid.
Yours was also
And Devontae Adams has had no impact.
because your team is a disaster. I don't know. Is that
He built the team.
I mean, he caught basically the game-winning touchdown against the Texans, like the game sealer.
he hasn't been.
I would say he's had not
All right.
zero impact, not the exact impact you've wanted. You've lost games.
All right,
but-
maybe I should cut him. And also, he got there too late. We should have traded for him earlier.
I think it's
We should
just
have traded for him in the offseason.
your quarterback is just.
That's on Douglas. The timing was bad. No, the Reddick thing, is that entirely his fault? I don't know. Probably more Reddick's fault. But at the end of the day, though, there's so many things that you can point to that you can make excuses for Douglas that eventually just run out of excuses. We need to have a whole new overhaul. And is that entirely on Douglas? No. But we need to clean house. This team needs an enema.
He's just someone, when I look at him, I just feel like he's made like, biggest thing for me, like GM, like the free agent stuff is obviously really important.
How many times
drafting is just so important? I just feel like he's done that pretty well. Like he's consistently drafted like good football players.
How many times have you changed GMs in the last 10, 12 years? 3?
We had was Idzik, that horrible. He was horrible. Like he was a capologist they promoted. Who was that? Was it from him to Douglas? I lose track.
Was it him to Douglas? But then before Idzik was
We had Tenenbaum.
Tenenbaum for a long. It was Tenenbaum for a long time.
He really did draft really well.
That's the
like
players.
Brees Hall, you got Sauce that was
Hall,
like.
Sauce.
I feel like I'm forgetting.
Jermaine Johnson. Obviously got hurt this year, but
Garrett
really
Wilson.
good player. Garrett Wilson, really good player.
Braylon Allen this year was a great. was a
Allen's
good
he's
running back.
drafted some secondary
He's got some good
secondary
draft picks.
pieces like besides Sauce that have been good, like corners. Because he drafted Whitehead, right?
Yes.
Whitehead, like, drafted, was a good pick. Like, I just feel like he's a guy who, like, even honestly, I know he had the bad fumble on the reverse and he hasn't got to play much. I think Malachi Corley is such a good football player.
I forgot McCagnon.
Like, I loved him at Western Kentucky, and I think he's going to be really good.
It was Tenenbaum, Idzik, McCagnon, and Douglas.
Then how many years does that go back?
2006 to 2020.
Jesus Christ. It's 4 guys already, right?
Ashton
guys.
Davis is a good player.
4 guys over almost 20 years, and a lot of it's failure.
That's crazy.
You had a little blip with Tenenbaum. Look at the Idzik from 2013 to now. Idzik, McCagnon, and Douglas, no playoff appearances.
Yeah.
No, one winning season.
No
Like,
home
that's-
playoff games, nothing.
No playoff games, Rico.
playoff games.
One winning season.
I know.
Like, at some point, someone's head has to go to the guillotine for that. And I like Joe Douglas. I hope he's successful later on. I don't have any ill will toward him, but it was time to go. We
What
have to
about
clean
this
house.
draft pick? Mekhi Becton over all those guys.
Yeah, it was a mistake. I mean, you're not going to hit them all.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like,
He
there's
also
a
got
lot
hurt
of
a lot, which I'm not going to make.
you think about it. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Sauce Gardner
Tristan
are three
Wirfs.
like.
Well, when you pick in the top 10, you're going to get a good player.
That was
What
when
do you mean,
Bosco
though?
could trick me.
we picked in the top 10. We got Daniel Jones. Like you hate.
I know, but
But you can't say top 10
Can I-
does not matter. One sec, let me finish now because he said I just named three guys. He said, well, if you pick top 10, you're always going to get a good guy. That's not true. There's many
that's
of
not
one
true
of
at
10
all.
people that don't. And second of all,
Giants know a lot
I
about that.
misworded myself.
that's three.
Misword.
No, you were wrong.
No, can I say what I wanted to say?
Go.
No.
When you have two picks in the top 10, it's very hard to fuck that up. Some people do.
You just did not change your words. You just said the same exact
said
thing.
it's hard to
You said
fuck
the
up.
same exact thing, and it's not.
It's been fucked up before.
It's fucked up a lot, Phil. If you
But
look
it's
at
hard
the
to fuck
look
that
at the
up.
no, it's not.
It is hard.
What? How is it hard to fuck? It's pretty.
It's very hard to fuck up two top 10 picks.
I think it
I don't
happens.
think it's not. I don't think it happens a lot.
Teams don't have two top 10s all the time, but I'd say
What picks were they too?
So Becton, by the way, was 11.
4 and 10.
I'm looking at it right now. Becton was
the
11.
Garrett Wilson one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 4. Sauce was 4, and Garrett Wilson went 10th.
I look at the last 5 years of the number 10 pick. I guarantee it's not
like 24th or 25th, something like that in that range. They think Jermaine Johnson has been really good as well.
I don't. It's very hard. Like there's so many teams that fuck up.
Also, Will McDonald.
Will McDonald
had
is
a
a
big.
good pick.
He's had a big year.
There's
this year.
number one.
leveled up.
There's
Yeah,
number
he's
one
good.
picks that they fuck up.
You think they should have took Brock Bowers this past year? I mean,
I don't know, man. Was that what was that going to make?
They need a lineman though, like
they-
Fashanu. Like they need a line. They need linemen badly. I don't think drafting a tackle when they have two like aging tackles they invest in it was a bad move.
This is
I
like that's not
agree.
what cost
I
him
agree.
his job. Like you got like that's should we have gotten Brock Bowers? It's not going to save Joe Douglas's job.
No, he was also a scapegoat this year as well.
Well, we already had one scapegoat. We had Solid.
No, but you have to fire. You have to.
Everyone has to go. This organization needs a complete rehaul.
Yeah.
Like this is not breaking news here. The Jets are a disaster. A complete disaster.
I looked up the history of the 10th overall picks, and while Marty definitely has a point, it's just an unfortunate number to pull
10
out of
was
his
good.
ass.
I was worried about that.
some really good players
Patrick
there.
Mahomes.
Well, that's not 10.
Josh Rosen.
Actually, a lot of bad Eli Apple.
No, yeah, that's what
Eli
I'm saying.
Apple,
So
like,
he gets
for
a
his
point,
credit,
for
has
sure.
lasted a while in the league.
Josh Rosen. There's some.
You're right.
Yeah, there's some bad players there.
Darnell Wright's like
Mahomes.
whatever.
It's off the screen, but Todd Gurley was picked at 10.
Yeah.
I thought Mahomes was 11.
Cormac bad, Gilmore good, Ebron
Blaine Gabbert.
There's some bad. Yeah, that's what I'm
Gabbert
saying.
bad.
It's hit or miss.
It is
so
not a
much.
surefire thing.
No.
Surefire thing. Like that's a
Gerard Mayo.
Look at number one picks. The past 2 years haven't been great
JJ
so
McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, JJ.
Meek lives in a world where everything should be perfect.
I say it's
Yeah.
hard to fuck up two top 10 picks. It's very hard.
It's not very hard. It happens all the time. So
But
it must
it's
not be
hard.
that no, it's no if something happens all the time, it can't be that difficult.
if it's hard, right, whatever. You win, Clemmer. I'm
I know.
wrong. You win. I'm
I
wrong.
know.
You're
I get it.
wrong.
Go on,
Yeah, it's
come
okay
on,
to be
don't
wrong.
give in. Give in to him.
It's okay to be wrong.
Give it back.
Sorry, it's very hard to fuck up two top 10 picks, in my opinion.
The Timberwolves did it.
That's a different
The
sport.
Knicks have done
That
it.
was a joke, but
The Knicks have done it all the
That was
time.
right there. That was a
did
good
it.
reference, Ed.
When have they had
Like
two
that.
top 10 picks?
The Knicks fuck up the picks in the top 10 all the time.
When have they had two in the same draft?
What about one?
When have they had two in the same draft?
No, answer my
Giants-
question.
Answer my
the
question.
Giants
Answer
did a
my
few years
question,
ago.
you dumb freak.
Answer mine.
this one. When they why the Giants fuck up number 7 pick overall? Why'd they do that?
When
How'd
you
they fuck up?
I'm saying when you have two, it's hard to fuck them both up.
Yeah, dude, the Bears did it this year. How about that?
I don't know if they.
Roma Dunze's a
they've
good
done it
player.
yet.
What are we saying?
Roma Dunze is a good player.
Roman Dunze's a good player.
He's good, but he's not like a top.
Now we're
Is
debating
Garrett
rookie
Wilson
wide
better?
receiver. He's a good wide receiver.
Is Garrett Wilson better than Roma Dunze?
Yeah. But
Okay.
Garrett Wilson's been in the NFL for
but
3
you're
years.
just so simple-minded that you think it's so easy to pick great players in the top 10, which is just completely wrong.
It's easier to pick at 10 than it is to pick at like 24.
Oh, thanks, Phil. That's just not the.
What are we
that's
arguing here?
The Knicks had
not
two
the
top
fucking point.
Knicks
you
had
dumb
two
fuck.
top 10 picks in 1979. Bill Cartwright, a fine player. Larry Demick, I don't know who the
1970. You're pulling up a 1979
That's the last
draft.
time. It's the only time
The
they had me.
1979
Hard,
NBA
hold on.
draft.
Meek, the
You
only
weren't
time-
even
We're getting off the
born.
rails.
No,
You
we're
weren't
not.
even
Meek is just
born.
dumb.
Listen, Meek. The only time they've had it, they fucked it up. So
It's
it can't
very
be that hard.
It's also very hard to get 2 top 10 picks in the NBA.
So the only time they've had it, they fucked it up, Meek.
I wish I didn't make the Timberwolves joke.
Yeah.
I just took this train and drove it off the fucking
But
tracks.
Meek is just so stubborn where it's like,
No.
there's
Go
not
frustrated.
everyone's a sure pick in the top 10. 100%. You're right. If you pick the top 10, you have 2 picks in the top 10. They're always sure pick. 1,000%.
I mean, you're going to hit it 50% probably.
That's not. That's.
I don't know.
Not
I don't
great.
know whose side I'm on that.
That's
'Cause
your
I'm
Marty's
looking at the-
side.
You're on my side.
It doesn't make it very hard.
I
Oh, so
think
he's saying. I'm sorry for falling behind. Meek is saying that they both.
He's saying
should
it's
be
hard to
really-
go 0-2 in the top 10. It's tough to like. I mean, it's not very often a team has 2 top 10 picks.
Bill Cartwright, nice player.
It doesn't
Larry
happen.
Heenick.
And just we'll keep it. I shouldn't have said the Timberwolves thing. That we just went nuts there for a minute. But football, it doesn't happen that often. I guess the Giants happened like five years ago, or a little less than that, like 4.
There's a history of it. The Texans,
Texans hit 2 home runs,
the Jets.
Well, the Texans were
With
1.
Ahmad.
And, wasn't the Texans 1 and 3?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. 4 and 10.
Different than 4 and 10.
Is way different.
Sure, no, but just for
The
reference,
Jets kind of hit offensive and
Jets hit. I think went
Jets hit.
2-0 there.
Those are both good players.
Jets went 2-0 there.
Well, Garrett Wilson at least. Ahmad is a different story right
No,
now.
stop.
He also
Ahmad.
You're,
We're not gonna call him Sauce.
I get
The
that.
Sauce has
Oh, I
expired.
get it because he's
That was funny.
not good this year.
I like that.
I've heard it 10,000 times.
The Giants are tentatively 1-2 on this.
I like Avon Thibodeau.
I do too. I'll give him like he's definitely not like a loser.
The Browns, you could say, hit.
That-
I think
The
that-
Browns
good
went 2-0 on this one actually. Denzel Ward's phenomenal.
1.
And obviously Baker's good.
those are the recent
Whoa,
ones.
2000. Wow.
Jamal Lewis,
Very good player.
Yeah, I've hit.
Travis Taylor.
I want to say though, 4 and 10 is different than a 1 and something else as well. 1 is like 1 you're most likely going to hit a 1. Most likely.
Lamar Arrington had a nice career.
We're way more.
There's been a lot of ones that missed.
Walter Jones.
It's a lot
Jones
more.
is a Hall of Famer.
I'm saying it's a lot more. You would think more of a sure thing at 1 than 10.
Well, one I think he takes such big swings kind of too.
Marshall Faulk was a nice player.
Good.
Hall of Famer.
Damn, the Colts got both.
Yeah.
Let's have it a few
The
times.
Colts fucked it up and let Faulk go to the Rams.
All right.
Well, we get the point now. Now we're going into like Clemmer's 5th grade class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. That 1990 happened in 5th grade. You called it.
Can we move to college real fast?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Because thanks, Phil, for letting me. Let me tell you, nobody has a bigger head than Meek Phil.
You
at this
have to tell
company.
what happened yesterday.
It's
go
so.
do
Before
shot-
we go to
go do
college,
shots
you
to
have to
Daniel
tell this
Jones,
story.
It was so mean.
This was fucked up.
I hit a plus 850 bet after he already insulted me for no reason because I said, "Why can we just let the guy die?" Just how I said, and then I hit 850. No one cared about my bet besides Clement, and I was like, "All right, hit 850. It's a great bet." And the camera goes away, and he goes, "Wait, there's a flag." That's insane.
I clapped,
Behavior.
didn't acknowledge it. So I
You
had
did
to
not. You did not, dude. You did not.
I did clap.
And you just admit you're a dickhead, and it's fine.
I'm a dickhead.
There you go.
All right.
I also like the record of the show when on the catch I said there's the over, referencing your over. I like
you
that.
did?
I like that on the record. The receipts will show that.
I believe it. I believe it.
I said the exact quote. I said, "There's the
Let me
over."
tell you, I believe you.
Thank you.
Jumped in the bathroom.
You-
In the bathroom.
All right, that's fine. I wasn't.
I didn't know it catch the parlay. I knew it catch the
It was,
parlay.
it was a 3 I said before. You know, it was fine. It's
I heard the
okay.
roar.
I didn't root. I
Not
had no
everyone
idea
has
what
to
you were-
root for me. It's okay.
I had no
That's
idea what
not
you
the
were
issue.
cheering
The
for.
issue is
The flag.
The flag. It was
It's
such
crazy.
an asshole thing to do.
It is.
It was crazy.
He would have got
Why-
eviscerated if he
why'd
did that
you do
with
that
the
to
big
Marty?
boys.
Imagine he did it to Dave. He's
Oh
too
my
much of a pussy to
God,
do it
he
to
would never
Dave
do
or
that,
any.
yeah.
He's like the big. He
Yeah.
won't do it to anyone that like if Saquon sat down, he would never say anything to him either.
You're a
he's
coward.
just
He
a-
would never
he's a-
call Saquon a coward.
Yeah, he just knows I'm nice and won't not a dickhead back to him.
It took him like 3 years to get back from Dave from the Astros pick.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do that to Rico.
Yeah, he
Dude,
would.
what are we
Think so?
talking
Yeah,
about?
he would do
He
it.
would do that to Moscow.
well,
I didn't even know what I
flag?
was. I don't even know what I
think
did to
so.
him
I
yesterday.
think he was
doing
doing
97 on the
Clemmer,
block.
he was a dick to Marty. I'd say that Meek goes after Rico more than anybody at this company.
No, I think Clemmer's more than Rico.
In a
close.
different way. Like in a mean way. Like I actually think that he went after you because Clemmer cheered for your bet.
I mean, we had to make sure we had the
like I don't
Texans
think it
Rio
had anything to
Grande
do with
game
Marty's
on.
bet. I think it had everything to do with Clemmer was a little bit happy.
Called it some residual hate.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the Knicks were up 30 with 3 minutes left, and he's breaking my balls to switch to a college game, which is a 1-point game.
Texas Rio Grande
I'm
Valley.
always nice to Meek. That's the one that kills me.
It was a 1-point game.
Are you trolling? Or are you dead serious?
I'm trolling.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
college.
Marty, now you can move on. Meek said he can.
Yeah, thanks, Meek. If you want to, honestly, Rico, you should just move over and have Meek be the host.
Yeah.
Honestly, he tells us what's okay anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm getting a little upset about some SEC bias this year. A little upset, right? Mm-hmm. That
How many SEC teams are slated to make it right now?
5?
I think there's like 5 or 6 sort of in the running. I wouldn't
4.
say.
Only 4 right now.
I think the absolute max would be 5. Like absolute max, probably more likely 4.
With all teams that 2 losses, right? All of them
Texas has 1.
potentially could have 2, right? With A&M.
The A&M game is massive for them. Probably for both of them, obviously.
So if A&M wins, they'll have 2 losses as well.
If A&M beats Texas, they'll have a real shot to make the playoff. In my opinion, if Texas loses to A&M, they should be out of the playoff. They have 0 good wins.
So
The Michigan win is aged just like milk.
yeah.
And they have no real other like they literally have their best win is would be arguably Michigan, Arkansas, or Vanderbilt. Take your pick.
And I just
That's
think
not
that
good.
this is what like SEC, right?
Plus, then if you're Texas with 2 losses, sorry, you'd be comparing them with
Like
Georgia,
all the other
they
teams would at
beat.
least have good. Like
Yeah,
Ole
no,
Miss is a
Georgia
good
beat them.
win.
Georgia beat
Georgia
them
has
head
good
up,
win.
yeah.
Bama has good win.
Georgia also beat them head up.
Tennessee has good win.
but they're good.
They all would have good wins with 2 losses, and they would have no good wins.
Good win is against the SEC, and when the SEC is down this year, it just is. And I think
There's no dominant team.
no dominant team where it's like holy shit they beat Georgia this year.
Also, everyone's like now the big thing has become the schedules, the narrative. And I do think that is the part that's hurt the conferences like getting bigger.
Big time.
Is you're seeing such massive discrepancies in like schedule inside their own conference. Like even for Ohio State, for example, in the Big Ten. Ohio State this year in the Big Ten had to play at Oregon, at Penn State, and Indiana. Indiana had to play is only going to have to play Ohio State.
So that's what I want to bring up. That's what I'm bringing up.
But in the other teams, like Oregon, only had to play Ohio State. Like that's it. No, they'd have to play Penn State or Indiana. Penn State, same thing. Only had to play Ohio State. In the SEC, for example, Georgia had to play Tennessee, Texas, Ole Miss.
But those are bigger names, right?
No, but those are better. But I'm
better.
I get look at Texas. Like Texas had to play just Georgia, and they got steamrolled at home.
100%. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Where it's like also the SEC is like Florida's down, Auburn's down, Mississippi State's one of the worst teams. Vanderbilt lost to Georgia State, and they're up. They're more up.
Vanderbilt's a solid team,
but still, they still lost to Georgia State. And
they did, but they beat Bama.
Then
like
LSU
they beat Kentucky. They beat Auburn. Like,
LSU lost to USC, who's not that good too. You have Notre Dame beat A&M. That everyone
has played no one.
No, but they beat A&M and
lost to Northern Illinois.
Yeah, but that's like people are talking about A&M to get in when they beat that team. That Arkansas lost to Oklahoma State. Like there's just SEC like. Not everyone's that good this year, and I think it's like they're talking about there could be potential. They were saying like 3 losses can maybe get in.
No chance.
No, at one point there was though. Because
I think early in the year when we didn't know how things would shake out, I think there's no chance.
But it's like, why would Texas get in if they lose A&M? Like
I don't think they will.
I think that's the fact that it's even a possibility. I think that like also Indiana. I don't even think Indiana's good, and I'm fighting for them right now. But like. They're getting like really shit on for their schedule, whatever. 1, not their fault. 2, they played who they're out. They've won, and if they lose by 14 to Ohio State, I still think they're out, and they'll put an SEC.
I think they should be in if they keep it within. I think the only way they should be out is if Ohio State wins by like 4 touchdowns. Like a total, if
you have one bad game and these other teams lost 2, and it's like Texas played nobody and they lost or won.
But their nobodies are even like different. Like
who's Texas's wins then?
Would be Vanderbilt, Michigan.
Vanderbilt isn't like we have to be fair though. Indiana's still playing the Big Ten, the second best conference.
But you're going to throw Indiana.
No, hold on. No, this is important about
Indiana.
This is important about Indiana. Indiana. Indiana has played legitimately the 7 worst teams in the Big Ten. Like I'm saying they're like you're saying Vanderbilt's not a great like best win. I agree. Indiana doesn't have a better win than that. They don't.
But they're also playing in
Their best win is legitimately like Washington.
But that's also like
Michigan, who Texas also beat, but beat them by like 30.
Yeah, but that's still Michigan. Like I get what you mean.
But I'm saying Texas compared to like Indiana, like Texas beat. If you want to get like Texas beat them by 30, Indiana barely beat them.
Yeah, but
So if you want to do like that kind of like those comparisons, Indiana played like a historically weak schedule, like insane. Like their draw was so lucky. They didn't play a top like
but
five.
that's why
but they didn't have to play
fault?
Iowa. They literally didn't have to play a top 6 team in the
Why are they
conference.
getting fucked for that?
I don't know.
Because the Big Ten is supposed to be the second best conference in football.
But they play like. But even in the SEC, if you legitimately just played these 7-8 bottom teams,
You just said Ohio State, right? So Ohio State, I think the top 3 team, right? You just said they had to go to Penn State. Penn State's played dick. They haven't played anybody. They had to go to Oregon. Oregon hasn't played dick as well. Who have they played?
Oregon. I mean, you could say
They played Ohio State,
Yeah,
but like that's what I'm saying. Like these teams, Penn State has played nobody.
No, but I think that's fair. I think that's like fair to say.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Where like Indiana and Penn State are getting not even like evenly ranked, and Indiana is about to play the same exact schedule as Penn State because they're gonna probably lose to Ohio State, and they're going to Ohio State, right? Or they're going to Ohio State. Penn State had them at home.
Yeah.
So that's not fair to Indiana at all.
But it's all going to be just how it plays out. Like I said, if they keep it close, I think they'll be fine.
But still, going to Ohio State's so much harder than when Penn State has it at their home, and they lost by how much did Ohio State beat them by?
Technically, it was 7, but everyone who watched it, Ohio State dominated. But it was 7 for. It's a fact. They won by 7, but
okay, but still,
I think anyone who watched Ohio State was just.
I did, and I remember they weren't even close.
Ohio State was way better.
Yes, way better. So and again, this is me. I don't even think Indiana's good, but I do think it's very unfair the way they're getting shit on for their schedule when Penn State, Oregon had Ohio State at home. Like Oregon's one is Ohio State. They played nobody else.
State Penn has beaten Illinois, who's 7th in the Big Ten. UCLA 13th, USC 9th, Wisconsin 8th. Oh, I'm sorry, 9th. USC 12th, Wisconsin 9th, Washington 8th, Purdue 18th, Minnesota 6th, Maryland 17th.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the bottom.
And they're automatically in.
Even the 6,
Minnesota and Illinois are like decent. Like I think they're like respectable, but
they're automatically in. People are like, that Penn State's in. That's what I don't understand this year, where it's like there's a lot of look at this, and it's not making sense.
But to be honest, though, those win like they're better than Indiana's.
They are.
I know it's not saying a lot,
not a lot,
but they are. But they're better. That's
Indiana played the bottom of the bottom.
Like Illinois and Minnesota are better wins than what they have.
So you think
USC? I guess I don't think USC is good either. But I'm saying like if you're just comparing like theirs to theirs, Penn State has better wins than Indiana does.
So who does Indiana beat? I have no idea who they beat.
Literally their best win. Take your pick of like literally Michigan or
what's Michigan in the Big Ten?
Nebraska, Northwestern.
Not. They're just. I'm telling
Maryland,
you, it's like
UCLA.
the worst teams in the Big Ten are like basically the bottom half of the Big Ten
UCLA's
was their
13th,
schedule this
Maryland
year.
is 17th.
Yeah, and listen, that's in their defense. You don't think. Wait, Indiana didn't even play Michigan.
Yeah, they did. They just did. They beat them by 5.
Oh, they did. In their defense, Michigan's not supposed to be in the middle of the pack, right? Like that is what like. You don't know how the schedule's going to shake out.
Michigan fucked everything because Michigan had to play Indiana. They're obviously going to play us.
Also, Nebraska was 5-2.
They played Oregon too.
Nebraska was 5-2 when they played them, and they won 56-7. Like that's not.
They've blown teams out.
That's where it also is too.
This is where State Penn has an advantage, dude. It's Purdue 18. Michigan 11, Michigan State 15, Washington 8, Nebraska 14, Northwestern 16,
they're both,
Maryland 17, UCLA 13.
They're both bad though.
They at least beat 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, these guys
they've beaten everybody too. Like I think that it's
they
just
have
like
the true
again,
bottom.
When you set this thing,
bottom.
Michigan was not supposed to be where they're at.
They didn't know. They fucked it up because they like I said, Oregon that was supposed to be like a
Washington went from they know they lost Penix and everything, but they went from the fucking playoff to what's their record now?
Like probably like 5-5.
6-5. They're fucking awful. UCLA is supposed to be
They played a gauntlet of a schedule. They've gotten better, but they're not good.
They're 4-6.
They beat Iowa.
Also, USC was supposed to be good this year. No, like
it really hurt.
The Big Ten just stinks.
It really
hurt Ohio State.
It really hurt Indiana that they didn't get to play even just like Illinois or Minnesota or Iowa. Like those 5, 6, 7, 8. Like the fact that they didn't even get to play those teams hurt them.
I don't know. It's just I think it's just some good points that are, and I don't think you're wrong. I think our arguments are both pretty sound.
Well, you want to know what the problem is with Indiana? It's gonna end up. It could potentially come down to them and Notre Dame, and they're just never gonna. You know what I mean? Like they're never gonna get that benefit of the doubt. And thank God for Notre Dame fans that they beat A&M. Because if they lost to M&M, they wouldn't even be in the conversation.
No, not at all.
I still don't think they're getting penalized enough for losing to fucking Northern Illinois at home. That is I said in the moment that should ban you from the playoff. You lose to a MAC school, that should ban you from the playoff.
As a future holder, I think that we should keep them in. And I mean, but in seriousness though, it's
pretty crazy. They lost to a fucking MAC team.
But that's the one thing
not even one of the top 3 MAC teams.
But in reality, this is the one thing I don't like about college football is that your name does mean something, which is stupid. And in reality, they should not be in. That is a horrible, horrible loss. If you look at schedules, they've played nobody. They beat Texas A&M in the first game. They lost to Northern Illinois, who's dog shit, and they're Notre Dame since they're Notre Dame, they're in.
Yeah.
In college basketball, it doesn't matter your name at all. It truly matters. It does matter your name. That's a fact. That's a false thing. Sometimes they do get in.
College basketball,
and stuff.
There's more people get in college basketball, but
it's
seeding
easier
it does
to
help.
get in.
But I'm saying in college sports, it shouldn't matter that you're Notre Dame. Like, why do they deserve to be in? Texas A&M is on the verge of they have 2 losses, right?
If A&M wins out, they have a good chance.
Yeah, they do. But what's Northern Illinois' record this year?
It's 5-4.
Yeah,
and they're bad.
They're like a decent MAC team.
And you're Notre Dame, so your name should bring you even lower losing that game. But it's just not how it works. And also, they'll make a lot more money when Notre Dame's in the playoff.
I think they're dying to give them a home playoff game.
Oh my!
They'd love to just give them that 8 seed.
Oh,
give them the home playoff game.
Yep. Might get higher just because it's what do you think? I think they could get to a 7.
Yeah, it just depends how the SEC shakes out.
Well, if Indiana drops, Notre Dame might move ahead.
How Indiana does.
Indiana right now, the bracket is Phil. If you want to pull it up, or Dukes, you want to pull it up. Oregon at the 1. Texas at the 2, BYU at the 3, Miami at the 4. Those all have buys.
But now the Big 12 is now just chaos.
It's Colorado.
True race.
But the crazy thing is BYU has been just slotted in this whole time. They go to Arizona State this week. Arizona State is not only a 3.5-point favorite in that game, they have 2 conference losses. So if they beat BYU, BYU is cooked.
Yeah.
They go from
So it's gonna be Colorado, Arizona.
It could be Colorado, Arizona State. Arizona State's been the sleeping giant in this whole thing. They played awesome.
You also got to be careful with Colorado. Colorado has how many conference losses?
Also Colorado has 1. No, because they lost to Nebraska. Colorado, they're only a 3-point. Only 3-point favorite against Kansas.
Kansas is the best team.
Kansas is playing the best football in the Big 12 besides Arizona State of the last
I still think Colorado beats them, but I agree. Kansas
that's a game that Kansas is very well capable.
That's where
of
it gets fun. It's a true conference
and
race.
if that happens, it's really chaos.
True conference race.
Colorado could still get in if that's the case, but that makes BYU, Colorado, Arizona State all just very. Iowa State still in the mix. They still only have 2 conference losses.
Yeah, who did Iowa State lose to?
They lost to Texas Tech and Kansas.
See, this is where it gets bizarre. So Iowa State has not played BYU, Colorado, or Arizona State.
Yes.
Iowa State has not played any of those teams.
Yep.
None of them in the race.
Colorado, I guess, technically hasn't either.
That's where these big conferences, and the Big 12 is not even that. Well, I guess it's big now. But yeah, they didn't play.
Colorado they didn't play Iowa State. They didn't
play BYU.
They don't play Arizona State.
They didn't play anybody in these races.
They just played Kansas State.
That's where it gets crazy.
They lost. That's their 1 conference loss is Kansas State.
Sneak peek to this weekend is Colorado's my best bet of the weekend.
Yeah,
-2.5.
I love Kansas. I've been championing for them. I think Deion deserves so much credit, and all the talking heads that were hating have been so silent as he's been winning over and over and over. They're one of the best against the spread teams too. This is just a really dangerous spot.
I agree.
Leipold's such a good coach. This team's been playing so. This team,
I know.
They're the team now that everyone thought they'd be the beginning of the year.
I've been on Kansas the past couple of weeks. I almost think that like it's like not like they're sneaky underdogs anymore. Like,
Yeah.
everyone just kind of knows about
I
them.
got you.
Especially after being BYU.
And Colorado knows what's at stake right now.
They beat Iowa
I think
State,
the Nebraska
BYU,
loss is the best thing for Colorado.
They beat the two best teams in the Big 12 back-to-back weeks.
No, I agree with Dukes. I actually think they're
That's
not
fair.
sneaky
It's
anymore.
fair.
Like last week, I think was the last sneaky underdog they were.
The only thing that really scares me is gambling brain. 3-point underdogs at home, 2.5-point underdogs at home. That screams Kansas.
Yeah,
but like
it
it's
does
just
scream Kansas.
so late in the season, nothing sneaky anymore. That's like I love Colorado. Like not in this spot. I just love Colorado. I
Speaking
just think
of-
they squeak by.
Colorado.
I think they are the best team in the Big 12.
We have
Colorado.
Yes, I do think like they are right now, especially the way they're playing, the best.
It's
team.
hilarious. Like even if you pulled up,
But the four team, I think the four teams at the top, like the Arizona State, Iowa State, and BYU are all like very close. I don't think there's a big gap between all of them.
with Dion, it's also funny. Like if you pulled up like probably like us last year. Remember we talked about like him winning Man of the Year, and I don't know exactly who was on whose side, but like it's like who else should have gotten it? Like who should it should have been? But like Dion now, it's like he should win. Coach, he should win.
Him or Signetti would have.
Signetti will win it, but like
No,
he
Dion
should
should
win Man of the Year this year.
Yeah.
100%. He's done like I mean, this team was legitimately in the gutter a year and a half ago. 1-11. They're on the doorstep of winning the Big 12 championship.
What's Brandon saying?
No, I mean, I think there's nothing. If you've been like a Dion hater, there's nothing to say right now. Like they're all just quiet.
Is he saying anything?
No. Brandon's giving credit.
Okay.
No, Brandon's giving credit. It's easy, like we have a show, so you have to talk about it. I think people that like are able to just kind of like give the takes and then just kind of like not say anything. Like I think those people just like just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because clearly they've just been. Because I was after the Nebraska game, I was like, this team is cooked. I said that him playing for his dad was like the worst thing ever happened. After the Nebraska game, they were dead.
Yeah.
He was so bad in that game.
killed.
As a team, they were so bad. But they've made such a turnaround since then. I give them they've done it.
It's the
As a
best
team,
loss they could have had.
Offensive line has improved so much from last year.
Again, they haven't
Defense has
beaten
improved so
anybody.
much.
They haven't beaten anybody in the race of the Big 12. They do have the
No, they
advantage of
haven't.
a good
They
schedule.
haven't.
They do have an advantage of a good schedule.
We have a guy that's been tweeting at us. He thinks that Jeanty should be the favorite, not Hunter.
Travis Hunter plays both sides of the ball, dude.
That's where it's like
Jeanty peaked too early. I've been saying this for weeks on Unnecessary Roughness. He just peaked.
I actually think it's a very good conversation. I don't think it's like crazy to say Jeanty's should be it, and Hunter, and that's what people are going to say. He plays both sides. He did get cooked on that one though.
He did, but he did have a great game out as well. He set the bar so high early that we
How
said
many touchdowns does he have?
25.
Pretty good.
It's insane.
I mean, we talked about on this roughness last week at San Jose State. He had 159 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that was that didn't help. That hurt him basically.
That's crazy.
Granted, it was on 32 carries, but still big time numbers.
That's just
and
what's
I also,
awesome,
and
yeah.
for the record, I've stood on this. I stand on it. He's going to be an unbelievable NFL running back. I think the talent is all there.
He'll be on the Cowboys.
He's incredible.
My one thing
Incredible
against
football
Jeanty,
player.
really quick, they just fucking feed him.
They do.
How many running backs in the country would be able to put up those numbers if they're getting fucking 30 carries?
He's also his elbows.
I don't know,
He's wearing the
though.
big ass elbow brace. His elbow got fucked up.
very confusing because it's a good point, Dukes, but it's again, they're giving it to him, and he's also
He's getting the
producing.
yards.
And
He could have
he
30.
is. He's
He
getting
could have 30
touchdowns.
carries and 70 yards. He's not doing that.
And he has a combined he played Oregon and Washington State and had 500 yards.
Yeah,
and,
he did
6
it against.
touchdowns.
He did it against the number one team.
He went to Oregon, had a $192 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. So it's not like he's
he
He
it's
had
not
them, and it wasn't in a blowout where
ropes,
they would
ropes.
just.
They lost by 2 in a game that Oregon had to return 2 kicks.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Where it's he plays both sides. Hunter, of course, he's amazing. That's why I think it's a real. What's the odds right now? Is it
Hunter's Hunter's a heavy favorite now.
I don't think it should be heavy.
Hunter's a runaway now. Yeah.
Heavy's crazy to me.
But I'm telling you, if they lose to Kansas, it's so crazy. It's not fair because it's an individual award that's become
Team award.
a team award unless you are just ungodly, which he kind of played himself back into it. Where really him playing well and just the Colorado being well is what has kept the hype train going. If Colorado has 4 losses right now, Jeanty's the favorite.
Even though
That's how I see it.
What Manziel, Lamar had 3.
I think you have to be ungodly
That's a quarterback,
good.
too,
Yes, I think you have to be ungodly good to win it with 4 losses.
Real quick, the baseball Hall of Fame ballot came out today, and I think you have someone who's going to be going as a Yankee. CC Sabathia is on it. I think he's going to be a first ballot guy. He's going to go in as a Yankee.
Do you think people think of him as a Yankee?
Oh, I just checked. He had more wins with the Yankees than Cleveland.
I think him as a Yankee.
And he won a World Series with the Yankees.
I think people think of him as a Yankee.
I think
almost
it's very close.
know.
I don't know. I think of him as a Brewer because he fucking was a workhorse for those motherfuckers.
But like the
He's a workhorse.
Just 2 months he was there?
Indians back then, what they were called.
Yeah, Indians.
It was that is like even though he was on the Yankees, I almost sometimes think of him.
More wins with the Yankees than won a World Series with them. I think it's pretty clear.
100%.
I also just think him because he almost had like 2 careers with the Yankees, where he like came over and then he kind of like had that like rough patch, and then he figured out how to pitch without throwing like 100 miles an hour, and then was a really good pitcher again. Still, is like the savvy vet.
The biggest name on the ballot is Ichiro. He's obviously going to get in first ballot.
lock.
Former
Should he be
Yankee as well.
unanimous?
I always
Why would he not be unanimous?
because you have an asshole.
Should be.
There's an asshole. in every
Clever's
bunch.
right, but he deserves
should
it.
be
He
unanimous.
should be unanimous. And then the other name I think that's going to get in is because this is last year in the ballot is Billy Wagner. So you need 75% to get in, right? Billy Wagner got 73.6
Yeah,
last
he's
year.
getting in.
He'll get
so
in.
he'll get in.
They'll give it
so
to
I think
him.
those are the 3 that get in. And I think Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran will be just misses. Another first year on there, I think he's going to fall short because of injuries. Is Dustin.
Beltran will get in though. No.
Not this year.
No.
He had 57%.
No,
last year.
I'm saying he'll get in.
That's what I said. I said Andrew Jones and Beltran. I just said that.
Yeah, all right.
Zobrist,
both-
huh?
I think
Russell Martin was so underrated.
well,
Zobrist being on there is a
career.
little surprise.
Dustin
Detroit-
Pedroia will be
Good player,
a
but I
first
mean-
ballot, right?
Justin Pedroia will not be in the Hall of Fame.
That's what? Why not?
Because he got hurt and didn't play long enough. He didn't have
MVP.
2,000 hits.
MVP.
Okay, a lot of guys win
World
MVP that
Series
don't
champ.
make. Yep. A lot of guys or World Series champs MVPs don't make the Hall of Fame.
Would you vote
Won't
for
let
him?
us win
I
tonight.
would not vote for Justin Pedroia to make the Hall of Fame, and he will be lucky to get 20-30%.
I would
So you
vote
know
for
you'll
Troy
never have my support
Tulowitzki.
for one of your players now.
Well, I mean, I'm not being unfair. I'm being
You will
fair.
not have my support.
Okay.
You think there should be a fantasy? There should be a fantasy sports Hall of Fame. Guys like Peyton Hillis get in.
Yes.
That's a great. That's,
I like that.
That Jamal Charles game.
I'll tell you what, Bosco once every like 4 days has a take. I was gonna say 4 months, but we'll give you 4 days. 4 days has a take that's unbelievable.
If Dustin Pedroia never got hurt, he would have had a career like Barry Larkin, and he would have got in. He just had injuries.
I would put Troy Tulowitzki in. I loved him.
Another guy that also would have had a Hall of Fame career just didn't play long enough.
He got hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Fernando Rodney,
Does King
iconic.
Felix
hat.
have a chance? Any chance?
No, same boat. Just fell short.
Just like a little, just not enough wins
I
either.
know.
Like,
he
he obviously had the seasons where he wouldn't have a lot of wins and have good ERAs and all that. But
169 career wins is
I gotta tell you, I
what's
don't
the career
see-
ERA on King Felix?
342.
Okay.
Can I be honest? I'm
Good,
looking at
but-
all these guys.
Very
and I see
good.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's
Very
like
good.
good.
I
Like,
don't see Adam Johnson getting ever in.
No, he's not.
Why is he on there?
So what
He doesn't
happened?
even deserve to be on there. I don't.
I'll explain. So every guy that's played 10 or more years is eligible, and then a committee goes and pares that down. So most guys on the ballot have no chance of getting in.
I'd
And
rather
if you
not
get
even put my name on it.
no, it's actually quite an accomplishment to get on the ballot. It means you've had a very good career.
Yeah,
And if you
it's-
get 5%, then you stay on each year. So, for instance, David Wright got 6.2% last year, so he's barely in. There's a good chance he falls off. That's the level we're talking about. When I say these guys aren't making it, I'm not at all being insulting.
Right,
it's actually
yeah.
quite a thing. Like Pedroia had
Of course.
a
It
very
makes
good
sense.
career. But David Wright, I love David Wright. He has no business being in the Hall of Fame, and he had a better career potentially, you could argue, than Pedroia, or at least they're close.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick also, Orioles fans, one of the saddest days on Twitter yesterday. Who cares? Honestly, our guy won Rookie of the Year. I swear to God, I could care less if he won or didn't win.
You should care. It's a nice thing.
Sure, like good for him. Like I don't.
I think like he deserved it.
I think
he did.
I
I
hate the
think Luis
Yankees.
Hill deserved it.
I hate the Yankees. I would have voted for Louis Hill.
But I'm telling you right now, I truly like it. To me, it didn't matter. Him, great. It's good. We have a good rookie. I'm glad. The Orioles fans were having meltdowns
because they have nothing else they're losing.
So it was one of the
They have
saddest.
literally nothing.
Actually, the first time I felt bad, I used to like, fuck them, like they're getting better, or whatever. I felt bad for them. Like that's what they cared about yesterday.
And
The difference is like we even Clemmer I think would agree. It's like we want to see like our guys win. Like I'm genuinely happy for Luis.
Of course
Hill.
I'm happy for
But
him.
like I'm telling you, Orioles fans are such losers. Like they want to like hang a banner for it.
Yeah.
Like they take like genuine like pride in it. Like they're like really hanging their hat on that.
Yes.
We're just like like good for Luis Hill. Like great season. Hope he can build on that going forward.
Yeah,
Make
it's a good start.
Try to make another run in a championship.
If Oriole fans are upset about that, they need to check themselves because 4 guys in the National League, the 3 guys, so you have Churio, you have Merrill, you have Skeens, and you have Shota, by the way. All, if they were in the AL, would have won Rookie of the Year. So they're lucky, and
for
Hill's
sure.
lucky to some extent too, and Cowser, that they even considered.
Yeah.
Because if any of those 4 guys were in the other league, they would have won.
Yeah, you're right.
Relax.
no, but you
just a
should
fun
have seen
fact.
them. They were going nuts.
What were Shota's ending numbers?
Very good. The only problem
They're
with
better than Hills, right? They're better than Hills, right?
Oh, yeah,
Final
yeah.
numbers?
But the only issue, though,
Probably
is
threw a little more,
he's
or
older.
He's 30.
So you might say he's not like the Japanese.
He got like the Matsui
yeah,
Like Yamamoto, if he didn't get hurt, he was.
Actually, didn't really Shoto was. I didn't realize. I thought he was like
he wouldn't
20s.
be teens.
I thought
He
Shoto
probably
was
wouldn't beat Merrill or
I'm saying
Churio.
if he was, I'm saying if he
the
played
top
all season.
3 in the NL.
I don't think he would beat. I'm saying if he did, he wouldn't beat those guys.
They easily win the AL. The top 3.
Fun fact about
easily,
Luis
like not
Gil.
even close.
Not even close
Not even
in a
close.
walk. And I
Totally.
think Shoto wins.
Luis
Probably,
Gil,
you're probably right.
Luis Gil is only 3 months older than Juan Soto.
Jesus.
He
Isn't
won
that
Rookie of the
crazy?
Year. He's
I know.
older than Juan Soto.
That shows you.
That is crazy.
That's more.
it
Shows
just
you how
makes
great
sense,
Soto
though.
is, right?
I mean, Soto right now is like about the same age when like Judge made his debut.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like Bryce Harper. Like Bryce Harper's was the same thing as
Yeah.
he started when he was 19.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
bring up this comparison. Felix Hernandez and Sandy Koufax first 12 seasons.
Okay. I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, that's not.
Felix having more innings pitched in the first 12
Why are
years is
we-
I
kind of
know,
crazy.
but Phil,
You-
I understand kind
Not
of
that crazy.
It is. I mean, Sandy Koufax won the World Series in 55, 59, 63, 65. He won 4 rings.
I think your team matters. I think that, but the team you're on, that's not like
There were 8 teams
It's
in the
nothing
league.
against Sandy Koufax, but I think
many
like
teams are in the league?
the teams you're on matter. Like you're a starting pitcher, you can only control so much.
I
it's
love
ins-
Felix to death, but I mean,
he was going,
listen, Koufax is better, but I'm saying like
Yeah, but he
I
also-
think it's worth like
I don't think
there's
it's
some.
that.
I
I gotta be
like
honest, I don't think it's worth.
insanely
Blind
far off.
resumes.
I think he smoked him in every category.
He's better. No,
I think
totally
you're right.
better.
He did by
Wildly
half.
better.
By half a
You're
run.
right, and then also he won 3 Cy Youngs.
the fact he was going deeper into
but-
his starts than Sandy Koufax when you compare eras, I think is insane.
Well, you have
that-
to.
I don't do it.
Well, you have to. We're looking at that's very quick and easy and lazy. And I don't. It's fine. For sure, I'm not shitting on Phil. Like if you actually look at what Koufax did, you look at the real numbers year to year. You're like, all right, I understand.
Yeah.
Definitely
I get
better.
it. I get it now.
I think it was more definitely better. I think it was more just for context that like Felix was really good.
I love Felix Hernandez. He deserves a plaque in the Hall of the Very Good for sure. He's just that tier below, which is that is
Right.
a huge compliment.
Makes
I
sense.
hope he gets a lot of votes.
And just
But I just think he just fell a little short.
One more tidbit: Luis Severino is rejecting the Mets qualifying offer.
All right.
Oh yeah, that comes out 4:00 today, right, Phil?
Correct.
Okay, officially. And Nick Martinez, I know, ready, wrap it up. Give me 1 second. And then Nick Martinez accepted it, right, Phil?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big deal. 1/5 of the Reds roster is on Nick Martinez.
I guess the only coin flip left is
salaries.
Pavetta. Everyone else is going to
1/5 of
decline
the-
it.
What is it?
1/5 of the Reds payroll is paying Nick Martinez.
Jesus Christ.
He's making $20 million.
Reds are a mess. All right, picks, Clemmer.
Yeah, so I'm on the Brooklyn Nets today, and let me tell you why. So the Nets are 5-9. That's not great, right? But listen to their last 5 losses: at Celtics, at Cavs, Celtics, at Knicks, at Knicks. I think they're better than 5-9. So you can get the Nets -3.
There's 2 teams that in the NBA are doing pretty good that you said weren't going to be good. That's all I gotta say.
Weren't going to be good. Who?
The Warriors
I didn't say they weren't going to be good. That's not what I said.
And the Cavs.
and
The
the
shit on
Lakers.
the Cavs.
The Lakers.
The Lakers.
Also the Cavs.
Lakers look good.
I
I think you said the Cavs.
I
I
mean,
mean, the worst
What
team in
you
the playoffs.
what?
He said the Cavs are going to be the worst team in the league.
I didn't know you said
who
that.
said that?
You did.
I never said that.
The
you?
Cavs will be lucky.
It's
to get
November
20 wins.
19th.
Did you say
Oh,
that?
nobody said.
I never said it.
No, Clemmer said they're going to be 0-12
Explode.
to start the year.
It's November 19th.
But you did say you.
I said they're not going to win a title.
No, you,
That was my whole argument:
that's
is you get
just-
rid of these guys because they can't win a title.
I've always said
I said-
that. It's not the craziest thing to say. The one team.
I said the Warriors have
One
zero.
versus the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said the Warriors have a close to a 0% chance. Now, right now, they don't.
You also said the Lakers wouldn't be barely make the playoffs this year.
Yes. So if they go and they make it to the Western Conference Finals, I'll be clearly wrong.
All right.
It's November 19th. I think it's a little too early to start giving yourself
I'm doing an
flowers.
exact Lakers versus Warriors.
Was anyone up watching the game last night?
Yeah.
Unreal. Warriors Clippers. The
Yeah.
ending was insane.
Same.
Clippers won it, but they are so good defensively. The Warriors. Mm-hmm. And Draymond doesn't get enough credit for how much you can just run offense through him.
Yeah.
Like he's not a scorer, and he's obviously much less of one now than he even was like 6 years ago. But you can just give him the ball at the top of the key, and he just makes shit happen. Such a good passer.
I'll take Purdue Marquette over 152.5.
I like that. I'm on that as well, Bosco. I like that play.
What else you got?
I'm on. We got Maction tonight. I'm on Northern Illinois, getting points, and I'm on the over in Western Michigan, Central Michigan. I'm going to be on the under in Akron, Kent State.
Marty.
I am on UConn minus 37.5. I'm on Lipscomb plus 21.5. I'm on Northern Kentucky plus 13.5 against Cincinnati. They're 0-3, but watch out. But then Florida A&M is one of the worst teams, So Florida minus 36.5. And then I had one more, and that is going to be Hofstra plus 8.5 against Florida State.
All right. What do you got, Connor?
Just the Nets play.
All right.
And also one last thing. Don't never forget, Marty Mush said the Mavericks would beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals. So, if we're going to talk about my pick, so
How
we
is that
every now and
bad? That's what you came back with? I have so many bad takes. That's the one you took? That was my best take I've ever had. The Mavericks.
But you said the Mavericks would beat the Celtics.
I also said the Mavericks were going to.
But you also
said the Mavericks were going to make the championship when they were not even close, and that was a great call.
Did you cash out?
When I told you to, as a friend.
You think the fact that you guys think you're getting me with this one is crazy.
I just don't think you could brag about a bet if you didn't cash out of it. It's not a good bet if you lose it.
Thank you. You're absolutely right, Dukes.
That's so stupid.
That's
so stupid.
As
a gambler, as all you guys gamblers,
all that matters is the
one of
ledger.
the stupidest things you've ever said.
I don't think
If you get a long shot to a championship. Because one, all you are not cash out guys, and if you are, you're a pussy. And second of all,
I would have. I told you to cash out. You cash out.
I wouldn't have cashed out.
I mean, why would you cash out when it's not that much? Like it's obviously
because they weren't gonna win.
This is.
And then you came on the show and you said they were gonna win.
You have to defend me.
I think you guys are still missing the point where he just really wanted you to lose. I think you're missing that the dynamic of rooting against the Celtics more than
you can root against everyone. You can't come on the show and say they're going to win and then yell at me for being wrong about the Lakers and Warriors. You can't have it both ways, Marty.
My whole take about the cash out.
Dudes, I'm more disappointed in you.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
What did you
say?
I
would not have cashed out of that ticket. I wouldn't have. I just think that.
You're telling me you can't if a team is over 15-1 I
wouldn't have bragged about it.
That's so you're bragging about your quarterback that's 3-8.
Well,
you're not going to brag about a fucking team that you 18-1.
Here we go.
You can't.
No, but that's not.
You can't throw stones when
I could throw stones no matter what.
Well, that's bullshit. But you can't yell at me on
I'll
November fucking 19th.
Bringing up tweets or something.
I mean, Drake May's offensive line. If he had average, he'd be the best fucking quarterback in the league.
I know Duke so well because I knew he wasn't going for anything Celtics. He was looking for Drake May stats. I knew exactly where he was going.
But you can't say you're not going to brag about things when I
brag about losing money, Marty.
So convenient, though.
Dumb.
You could have said.
Dumb. You brag about something. You take a future to Why do you take a future?
To win money.
Yes, and all. Not really though. You do.
No, that's why you do it.
No, you do it to talk about it. You do it to talk about it. That's a fact.
That's not a fact.
At this fucking place, yes, you do.
No, you do it to win money.
Most of the time, it's the ride.
It is,
Marty. But do you not think that you could have been like, I think the Celtics could win. Are going to win the
don't you think,
Dukes?
Don't you fucking think, Dukes, that you knew that? I knew that. Like you both knew I knew that.
You didn't. You didn't.
Ev literally just said that. Ev just said that. I obviously didn't think that the Mavericks were the better team than the Celtics.
Don't come on this show and say that.
You didn't cover your tracks like I did. Where I made it a point, I did all that, and then made it a point 2 hours before the final started to tweet. Listen, I'm not a dummy. I know the Celtics are winning this.
But you also didn't have a Mavericks.
I didn't have a future.
Which
granted.
it's like you want to believe in, like you believed in the Jets this weekend, right? You want to believe in the team that you're betting on.
I
don't brag about it. I'm not saying, it's cool. I had faith in the Jets, who
they were over 20-1 to win a fucking championship. Of course, I'm going to talk. I'm going to sit here like this, but not say a word about my bet. That's what are we working for then? What do we do at this company? Not talk about anything that you do?
Well, we talk about it.
So what are you talking about? That's what I said.
We have to own it.
What? I did own it after they lost.
And you can't yell at me.
I owned it after they lost, you old freak. I did after they lost. I said they were way better. What am I supposed to say?
You can't call me an old freak with that hairline. You can't call me an old
hairline's great.
Well, it's good now.
It got way better.
Very good now.
Sorry. The hairline's great.
It's very good now.
Can't say anything about my hairline anymore.
It's not natural.
That's
not natural.
Oh, it looks great.
It looks very good now. It's not natural.
One thing I want to say though about this fucking Maverick series, and I'm done talking about it forever.
I didn't bring it up, by the way.
No, I know. I firmly believe that you were like, the Mavericks don't really have a chance. There's like a slim chance. And then once people started being like, you know what? Like, I think the Mavericks are going to be the Celtics. The Celtics have played nobody. You started to believe a little fucking bit.
Dukes. Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean? But you guys are shitting on me.
Down your throat.
No,
Thank
you're
you.
not.
Pause.
No, you can't shit on somebody for having a 20-1 ticket and then hoping they win on it. That's where I'm like, I don't
No,
understand.
I'm not shitting you, Pat.
No,
I'm
you
shitting on
just
you
did.
for saying the Mavericks would beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals.
So I have a 20-1 bet. I'm on a show and I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and just be like, yeah, this is cooked. That's fun. That's fun for the show.
Good point.
It's pretty fun.
That's where I have Marty. So
I have fun with that.
Because you're
come in
Celtics
here and
fans.
be like, I'm just
gonna fold?
Might as well just put this ticket in the trash.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
That I've been, I've been riding for
what
like
you
4
do
months.
is you buy out the ticket. You
It wasn't
cash out.
Yeah.
But for what? A couple $100?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like,
Oh, I held on a ticket for 3 months for $200.
sure.
No, just like
As opposed to winning nothing.
Nah, I think you need
was
the
fun.
story. What, Dukes and Meek, what do you have to wrap it up?
Meek's
the
not
word
here.
for the ticket's worth more than $200.
1,000%.
I haven't done too much research yet.
Should have bet on the
but
West.
I love what's their face? Celtics -5.5 tonight.
All right.
I think that they're just gonna go balls to the wall this game and send a message to the Cavs that it's
All right.
still their conference. I'm looking at not official. I'm looking at Providence -22.5. They haven't been that good. Bryce Hopkins might come back tonight. I think there'll be some juice in the building. They haven't had juice really all year. So I'm looking at Providence. I'm looking at Marquette. I'm looking at Kentucky. And the last look.
What's going on?
I want to do some more research.
You have looks.
Yeah, I've looked.
Leans, I
I'm
used to
getting
have
my
leans.
leans right now,
There's
and
no-
I'll lock them in
I
on
don't
my
do
Twitter.
leans, but I'll say looks, and if they get to the border,
Yeah,
not later.
the board I'll tweet
I'm
out.
with you on this one, Mush.
I really want to take Villanova tonight.
Take it.
Villanova -16 against Penn.
He'll tweet out his plays. I don't think it's like be like, I'm looking at this. I'll tweet him
Yeah,
out. Though.
I do a little research. I don't want to come and then give a pick that I'm not going to.
As long as you tweet him out the full card, you're drawing a line in the sand where you're at.
Thank you. You don't think I could do that?
What?
No, you can.
No, you can. It's just like I just think you got to give some picks to the people.
No, you got to
I
give
did.
a few concrete. That's fair.
I gave Celtics
No, but
-7.5.
he gave a few concrete.
fine.
You got to give a few concrete.
It's not like when Meek says I have nothing. Like that's just
fair.
I think just say I'm gonna research these. I'm gonna get back to you. I think that's okay.
I'm probably taking those.
When you say look, like people, I get angry when people say I'm looking at this because I just like you like it or not, and if you don't know yet, say I'm gonna research and get back.
No,
He kinda did.
I like it, but I'm
He
not
had a
going to
pick.
lock it in.
I have no issue with that.
I
He
didn't
had
hear
a
the
pick.
first pick, so
It's
that's
also like the
Yeah,
first time I ever said I'm
Celtics. He
looking
likes
at
Celtics
something.
over the Cavs.
all right.
And, yeah, and he had like a reason why. So I like that.
Dukes, talk me into because the one I was looking at. I'm on the over concrete. Marquette in the almost fading Purdue off the Bama win.
I didn't say I'm looking
Although
at-
Marquette looks really good too.
Yeah, I think
Cam
that-
Jones is a stud.
Yeah, I think Marquette's very well coached. Obviously, I love Cam Jones. I think he's the best player in the Big East. I think he could win Big East Player of the Year. I like their guards the way they match up. They got who's the kid? Richie, defensive guard. I can't even think of his name right now. Number 50, Stevie Mitchell. Stevie Mitchell, I think could match up well on like a Braden Smith. I like the guards in the Marquette game over the Purdue guards, to be honest. And I love Braden Smith. I think he's the best point guard in the nation. So I'm leaning Marquette. After I do research, I'll get a concrete play.
All right.
I do think it's going to be high scoring though.
Yeah, I like the over.
Over me and
I mean,
Bosco
that guy
on the
that
over.
fucking tore up Alabama, Ren Kaufman.
Yeah.
Like he's very good,
Kaufman,
I
ran,
think- but I don't know if he could do that every fucking game.
It's crazy the way Purdue, I'll give them credit. They've done a great job of having these guys that were just kind of like rotation guys, and then they just become like their stars
You- like-
as years go on.
8-foot people.
Anyone that watched the Big East tournament
That's
last year knows Cam Jones. Like when Tyler Kolek was out, people were like, "Holy shit! Wait, has Cam Jones been the best player
He's
on his
awesome.
team the entire year?"
He's a
And,
bucket.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. So yeah, I like Marquette a lot. I think it's worth a stab.
All right. All right. That is Pick Central. Yaks rocking now. We will catch you tomorrow.